Shemai everyone, it's JonnyVR here with my review of Doctor Who Legend of the Sea Devils that aired today on Easter Sunday. So I wish you all a very, very happy Easter. I hope you've had a great weekend. So we got a lot to talk about here. So as always, the first part of the review will be spoiler free, and I'll give you notice when I go into spoilers. So do click that like and subscribe button as well for more Doctor Who videos, and I will do this after every episode as well. So if you want, leave a comment down below as well. We can have a discussion after this video goes up, and I'll feature some in next month's Who News. So spoilers, spoiler-free section. Okay, it's Legend of the Sea Devils, in my opinion, is a good adventure, a really good adventure, and it has spectacle. The effects look good. The direction is really cool as well. The Sea Devils return in force. Although there's like a few things that take a little while to get used to about them, but most of the time they look great, they sound great, and they really are a force to be reckoned with. And yeah, they have some great scenes. They have some great dialogue that really paints them as a strong villain, which is interesting because they do them in a way that is different from their previous appearance, and away from the whole sort of usual Silurian Sea Devil stories, the way things go. But yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. I thought that the story was a lot stronger than ones that have come more recently. There was less of a focus on the episode trying to be funny, but it was a really good adventure. I think that the cast as well, the bonus cast for this episode, because there's not so many of them, actually is a strength here. We get to see a lot of interactions between the different characters. But yeah, I do think it was a really fun episode. It's unconnected to anything that has been recently, maybe a tiny bit connected, but like, for example, things like with Yaz and the Doctor, this kind of briefly gets explored. And of course, there's a little bit of foreshadowing for the upcoming Regeneration special. But besides that, it is mainly its own standalone single adventure, unconnected from pretty much anything. And I think this is kind of what makes it, I think, a strong episode, in my opinion, is that there was the whole baggage from Doctor Who Flux and Eve of the Daleks, which kind of didn't deal with it. This episode doesn't really either, but it's good on its own, and I think I'd be happy to watch this again. Uses some good historical mythology, and the story of the characters in the episodes are used really well, and it looks and sounds great. The music was great as well, so I think it was definitely a good episode, and I think I'd argue one of the strongest of Jodie Whittaker's era. Which is a good thing, because we don't know what to expect going into this the final special. But I really enjoyed this one, and I hope you did too. So as always, stay tuned for my score, which I'll give at the end of the episode. You can skip forward, I'll put a little bookmark in. But I'm going to go into spoilers now because there's not much more I can say besides that. I think it's well worth a watch. So if you haven't seen it yet, go and do that. And it'll be a fun hour of your time. So yeah, so spoiler territory. Here's your spoiler warning. So, Legend of the Sea Devils. I'm going to talk about the Sea Devils first. I think they look great. They sound great. But what sort of took me a while to get used to was the mouths. The mouths don't move. And this I thought was a strange choice. I can see why, because it's a lot of moving parts. Like the eyes move, especially for the main character. The thing is, though, the mouths don't move. You can see sort of slight movements in the throat and stuff, but I thought, oh my gosh, they're gonna go through the whole episode and they're not gonna move their mouth or open their mouths, because even in the old series, although they're very plain, it's just a mask. At least the mouths did move. but yeah, I thought this was very strange until I noticed that about halfway through that the necklace of the main Sea Devil was glowing as he talked kind of like a Dalek. So I was like, okay, maybe he's using this as a uh, like a communication thing. I think because it was so obviously a choice with the light up that it didn't take long to imagine this is some sort of communication device. But overall, I think they were really cool. I thought they were different from the usual Sea Devil Silurian thing of they were here first and therefore there should be a way for them to coexist with humans, like to have a peaceful resolution or a treaty. I usually like this is the way that it goes. Whereas this episode, it throws that away. I think it's interesting that they decided to put them as the villains, and they make reference to this that this lot of Sea Devils are zealots. They are like outsiders, and they have a will of their own, and they want to reclaim the Earth by flooding it. Which is it's fair enough because the whole diplomatic solution has been done before. It's cool to see them painted as a villain, and for the Doctor, having to be forced to do something about this. However, one thing I did notice was that what was cool about this adventure is at the end they had this sword fight, which I thought was going to be like really bad, but it wasn't too bad. The choreography of the sword fighting was not so bad at all. But then it came to a point where the Doctor says, look after him, the main Sea Devil, like don't do anything, keep him there. And Ji Hung just straight up stabs him, and we get the classic Sea Devil scream. So the main Sea Devil just gets killed that way. And then the Doctor immediately is like, you didn't have to kill him, like as we've heard so many times from the Doctor. And then later on in the episode, when they're trying to solve the whole change in the North and South Poles and the crystal doing its thing, they have to defend the ship from the Sea Devils, and John Bishop just straight up slices down, I think like 4 Sea Devils in like 2 movements. Just like that, and I was like, wow, it's a good thing the Doctor didn't see that. He just straight up like brought them down. And I was thinking it's kind of crazy. There was other part in the sword fight where like one gets thrown overboard, and Madam Ching of course gets to slice down, I think, one to save the other crewmate. But the fact that Dan does it as well was kind of jarring, I thought. It's especially after the whole Graham thing with Tim Shaw and the Doctor saying, don't kill him. And the Graham was like, I'm going to kill him. Now John Bishop's got Sea Devil blood on his hands and the Doctor doesn't know about it. So anyway, continuing on, other aspects of the episode. Basically, I enjoyed the fact that it doesn't really connect to anything, not either the Daleks, not Flux. It's very standalone, except the whole 13 and Yaz relationship, which for the first time was brought to light in Eve of the Daleks. It's explored, I think, kind of briefly in this episode. There was news about how this episode would tackle this, would have scenes about this. I do think it was still kind of brief, and it wasn't really until the end that they did start talking about it. And on the one hand, initially it's kind of when they're underwater again, a really cool looking set piece with the TARDIS underwater. It looks great. The Doctor just makes reference to it like subtly, and then that's it. Doesn't deal with it anymore. And then later on, where Yaz had to talk with John Bishop again, and this is, she's like, did you tell the Doctor? Did he say anything? And he's like, didn't you notice? But then the actual conversation between the two of them, first of all, takes place when the universe is like about to be blown up, when the world is about to be blown up. So they have stuff to do and they're talking about relationships, which is again is kind of a bit, really, you have to save the world and you're talking about this now. I think they could have saved it, because the thing is they went on to sit on the beach later on and have a conversation, and I feel like it would have been better to just have it all, like dedicate that time to that conversation, and maybe have more time with the defense of the ship against the Sea Devils, and solving that problem first. But yeah, I do think even with that, it was kind of briefly dealt with. And I've no doubt that they'll probably do more in the centenary special, which you got a first look at afterwards, with some interesting surprises. So this will definitely be one to watch. And yeah, I think, yeah, I just think it was brief. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. The other thing I thought was that like it was properly like shut down by the Doctor. Do you know? I just had this impression that there was hints of it. The way she said like, "Oh, I'm not a bad date, am I?" And then later on, she's like, "It would be you, but I can't. It's I can't get attached." This is all stuff we know. It's been done before. Even Riversong gets a mention. She mentions that she has a wife. But it's funny. Like I feel like Riversong knew that she can't get attached, and like no matter what, the Doctor will outlive her. However, like I feel like it seems a little unfair to say, "Oh yeah, I had a wife, but I can't have a relationship with you because of the same reasons that I said to Riversong, like I'll outlive you, nothing lasts," and things like that. So it's a bit of a, yeah, it's a bit strange. I feel like it really wasn't part of the plan when the series started like 3 years ago, and now they are doing the story with not a lot of time left. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see in the Centenary special how this is going to go. But let me know what you think of that aspect of the episode. What else about this episode? I think it was good that they had a good use of time travel. I thought the use of the mythology and the history was really cool. How it had quite good twists. The way that like they went back in time to see Ji Hung attack, like telling his people to jump ship, and the Sea Devil, who is apparently under his he's under the command of the Sea Devil now. And this is, again, you get to see some of the cool Sea Devil lines, like, "You would betray your own species," really cool. However, this was all part of the plan, how he told them to jump off the ship to save them and to get rid of what the Sea Devils wanted. This is cool. And afterwards, when it comes to the fact that somebody needs to stay behind, makes sense to be him because he's out of time. He's not in his correct time period. He's lost a legend, and this is a good, satisfying end, I think, to his character in the space of one episode. I thought Madame Ching was cool. Very cool that she managed to fire some cannons at a sea monster. Great to see a big sea monster. It wasn't a Merca though, which was the one that appeared in the classic series. It was something with a name that I didn't quite catch. But again, it was massive. It was huge. It was cool to see that and them fire cannons at it. But then, yeah, she has her own backstory to, with her crew, and that's why she wants the treasure. I think because mainly it's only 3 extra characters besides the Doctor, Yaz, and Dan. It's quite a small cast. The ship that they're on always looks kind of empty because of it, but I think this is a strong thing because there's less people talking and there's more time for each character. I did like the Sea Devil scene right at the very beginning, where literally the Sea Devils like brutally massacre the whole village, like one Sea Devil. I thought this was very good. A few nitpicks about like how, like, for example, we don't really see Dan wander off, and Madame Ching like frees the Sea Devil to get the stone or the map for the stone, and the Sea Devil massacres the whole village and then leaves. And then does a massive Hulk jump onto the ship, like there's some strong Sea Devil legs there to make that jump. But yeah, it still goes through. He massacred the whole village, but didn't like look like well enough to find Madame Ching. Few nitpicks, but like there have been bigger plot errors in previous episodes that it didn't actually take away from my overall enjoyment of this episode. And I think that it is one of the best of Jodie's era. I am looking forward to the final special where she will regenerate, she'll pass on the mantle to the next Doctor, and Russell T Davies will take over again. Let me know what you think, especially what you think of the next look at the Centenary Special, which I haven't checked yet, whether they've revealed the title online or on Twitter. But let me know what you think in the episode down below. As always, I'll post comments on my monthly video Who News, which you can also find on this channel. Be sure to click like and subscribe for more Doctor Who videos. And check out our gaming channel as well for Doctor Who Let's Plays. For my overall score, I think this is a really fun episode. It's adventurous. It looks fantastic. It's memorable, I think, and it's not. I don't think it's ever dealt, like, none of the plot points are ever dealt with too easily. There always feels like the Sea Devils are a threat. There's good twists throughout the episode, good use of time travel and the mythology. What shall I give this episode? There's a few like little nitpicks I have about it. Overall, the episode I really enjoyed and would easily watch again on its own, and I think I would give it an 8. A nice 8. I feel like I give Eve of the Daleks 6 because of its not very good humor, in my opinion. This episode is much stronger story, and I think this is probably because of the co-writer credit of Ella Road along with Chris Chibnall. As I said, I don't like when they do this because it's hard to credit one author over the other. But I do feel like the writing was a lot better in this. It doesn't try too hard to be funny. But it does pack a lot of adventure into a 50-minute episode. So it's an 8 from me. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And once again, stay tuned. When the Centenary Special airs, I will be doing this after the episode as well. And it will be a huge episode, a feature-length episode. I'm looking forward to it. So let me know what you think. So with all that said and done, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Happy Easter. Bye.